Brian.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Is the
I'm
better question.
I'm tired but extremely pleased.
Good,
Yep,
good. So you just finished the 7-day WFR program, Wilderness First Responder Program,
I did.
and here we are right at 10,000 feet up in the Colorado Rockies. It's been quite a week.
Sure has.
Yeah. Let, let me ask you, what were your expectations coming into this? Honestly.
I was actually doing this course as part of a 50-day program, so it was part of a larger program. But to be very clear, I did not look at it as a have to a requirement at all. I've been a backpacker for 25 plus years, um, and basically I've operated medically from the pray and hope that nothing happens school of thought. So this was a really good opportunity to get some real knowledge about what to do when, not if, something goes wrong. Eventually, on a long enough timeline, it's gonna.
Sure, sure it is. It is. Um, did the program meet your expectations?
Oh, 100% for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What was the one big takeaway? If you could boil it down into the biggest single takeaway, what would that be?
That in a wilderness first aid, I don't want to use the word first aid, in a wilderness medical scenario, um, this is not a multiple choice test. There's not one right answer. You're out there and you have to use what's around you to get the best outcome that you can. And I thought this course did a good job of setting that mindset, where, okay, yeah, you don't have all the best equipment, you don't have a fully equipped ER, but what can you do with what you've got in the situation that you're in?
It's kind of surprising too at the things that you can accomplish once you open up that brain and actually start thinking outside the box. You know.
It is, and you're walking down a trail and you're looking at the stuff around you differently. Hey, that stick there would make a great splint. I could use that willow right there for an aspirin source if I needed it.
Sure. So 7 days, 80 hours.
Hmm.
What was the what was the least enjoyable part of the program for you?
So I'd say it this way: the least enjoyable part for me also kind of ended up being the most valuable, because in some of the scenarios that we did, there was a lot of uncertainty about what was going on. You are in the final analysis dealing with other humans. Um, if it was just reading a pamphlet and following some steps, this would be super easy. Everybody would have some medical knowledge. But those pesky humans get in the way. They don't act the way you want. They don't do what you want. They don't always tell you the truth. There's so much uncertainty in a real world situation. And although there were times, I got to admit, I despised some of what was going on. It was very stressful. It was hard to deal with. And I was very angry some of the time. But in the end, I feel like I got a real flavor for what it's like when something actually goes sideways.
Mhm. So you've mentioned the real life scenarios a couple times and the people.
Hmm.
Um, what are your thoughts on the use of crisis actors?
Um, well, number one, the people that are willing to do that, God bless them, because it is a lot of work, and they do a great job of simulating those things, and it introduces. I mean, when you're just dealing with a mannequin or someone who's just passively laying there, it's pretty easy to keep the steps in your head of what you're trying to do. But when the person is trying to get up and move and you don't want them to, and you've got other patients coming up, it really adds some of that. I mean, one of my fellow students was saying about taking a break and just breathing. It really does ramp it up. And at a point, you've got to go, okay, I just need to stop here and take a second and get back on track with what you're trying to do. And that's very real. I mean, there's nothing artificial about that at all. As I said, if this was easy, everybody would do it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So early days, long nights.
Mhm.
Nothing better than learning about altitude at altitude.
Mhm.
That's always fun. Yeah, this is actually where medicine meets the wilderness. You
Yeah.
know? And once you start to look at things a different way, you actually realize, man, I've been carrying all this junk for nothing. You know?
Oh yeah.
Talk about kit mentality and things like that.
The big red bag is a false sense of security.
It is.
If you open it up and you don't even know what's in it, the knowledge is far more important than maybe having the very best of equipment all the time.
What were your thoughts on bringing in the air medical component?
Well, number one, it was really great just as a pure tourist exercise. Okay, so for a layman like me who has nothing to do with the healthcare, it was just neat to see how much they have packed into such a small space, and to hear how they, what their protocols are as far as landing. And it's also good to know, what those protocols are. So if it's a foggy, rainy, snowy day, you may not be able to get a helicopter in there. You need to know that going in, so you're not expecting something that's never going to arrive. The other thing, they were very encouraging. If you're in an emergency situation in the backcountry and you do have the opportunity to call them in, don't waffle. If you think you need it at all, make the call. They're never going to penalize you for being overcautious on behalf of your patients.
Exactly. So based on all that, would you recommend this training for people who like to get off the beaten path, get out in the wild?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, hope ain't a strategy, guys. If you're getting out there, things can and do happen, and so the old Boy Scout motto, be prepared. Make sure you understand what to do in those situations.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.